All right, Coach, thank you for doing this, and thank you for taking the time. And we're trying to be responsible and get back at it by doing the video calls and social distancing. And it's been really fun to talk to everybody, and it's a pleasure to talk to you here on the record. And I hope you're safe and well. And, we're all trying to do the right thing before we get into football. It still is this coronavirus quarantine, and we're trying to stay safe.
Yes, I think we all are. The main objective is safety, doing our part. Even though staying home and doing work here, you would like to be around your kids, but under these circumstances, we're adjusting as much as we can. And thank God that we have all the technology where we'll still be able to communicate with you as well as our players.
Well, it's been a pleasure, and I can't wait to do it in person. And I'm sure you're itching to go see your guys, see your crew, the defensive tackles here with the Cougs. How much contact have you had with them lately?
I stay in communications with them constantly. We're spread all over the country, as far as Hawaii to South Carolina and in between. We do have some guys in town, so just checking on their well-being, just making sure they're doing okay, and at the same time following up on academics and trying to get as much football installed as we can with them, but just trying to keep their minds busy.
You've been all over. You played at NC State. You've coached at Troy. You coached two of the best defensive linemen to come out of the Southeast, a loaded area of defensive linemen at Troy, and Osi Umenyiora and DeMarcus Ware. What before all that? How did you get into football? When did you know you were going to play football? When did you know you would be an ACC defensive lineman?
Being a military brat, my father gave me two options after high school, and that was to join the military or I was going to go to college. And after one of them PT runs that they do in the Army, I realized the military wasn't for me. So had an opportunity to go to North Carolina State, ACC country, but had a great experience there. Loved the game. I think coaches that are coaching are doing this because of the passion and the love that you have for the game and what the game has done for us.
NC State in that league is an agricultural school. Do you feel like, to a degree, whenever you go to a school in Washington State, it has some parallels to NC State? Do you feel like you kind of get it before you even got on campus?
No question. A lot of similarities of ag school. Just being here for a short period of time, going to certain functions, meeting people. I really related to them just because of the type of school that I went to, and the people are just down to earth. And you don't realize in agriculture how much it means to you, and when you meet these people and realize that they're doing really well for themselves. I'm proud that I went to an agricultural school.
So you have been, additionally, you're in Hawaii with Coach Rolovich, but you also have been, where else? What's your path been to get here to the Palouse?
Before that, I was in the Mountain West Conference at Hawaii and Colorado State, University of Houston. So this is kind of different for me. I now can say I've coached at the two Cougar schools.
Yeah.
Before that, I was at Vanderbilt University, which is where I met my wife, as well as both of my boys were born in Nashville. Before that, I was at Troy University in Troy, Alabama. UTC, where Terrell Owens was a wide receiver there. Really started my career there at the University of Tennessee at Chattanooga. So 26 years later, from where it started to where I'm at now in the present time, I've learned a lot throughout the years. And each place that I've been to, you gain great experiences of meeting great people, and the relationships that you build with your players and coaches is something that's memorable wherever I've been.
What have your initial impressions been of the defensive tackles, the defensive linemen that you'll be working with here for the Cougs, in terms of looking forward to this next season coming up whenever we do kick off?
We have to build some depth right now. I think you have probably one person that has a lot of playing experience is Dallas Hobbs, which is one of my leaders in my room right now. Has really stepped up into that role in the short time that I've been there. You have Lamont Macdougall, which is, I call him my strong tree trump, short, powerful, quick. Seeing him or what he does in the weight room, I haven't seen him transition that to the field just because we didn't have spring practice. You got Christian Mahia from Hawaii that's got the same length as the Hobbs. I just don't have the experience. You got Amir Crowder, which is another taller nose tackle for us. Of course, last year was more of didn't get as many reps, but was a role player. And then you got, Michael Van Beek, which is a blue collar, everything that you talk about, Washington State, he amplifies that person, doesn't have much, but wears his hard hat every day to work, what I've seen in the weight room. Then you got Tyler Gray Harris, which is a young man that's redshirted this year. You see some talent in him, but him is building confidence as he builds through. And of course, Nick Sheets was also a role player. And then you got Jake Siegel. So you got a great group of young men. Unfortunately, we didn't have an opportunity to get on the field together, but the work ethics that they've done in the off-season program was really good. Just hoping they'll transition to the field, and that's something that is still a question mark as we're implementing a new defense.
Sure. You mentioned you were in the SEC with Vanderbilt, and you were at Colorado State, and of course Hawaii. What's the ideal number of all these years you've seen it? With Houston Cougars and Troy, and how deep do you want to be? You feel comfortable? At what point do you go, okay, this is our rotation, and this is the number of guys we want to roll with?
You always have a number in between 12 and 15 guys that you would like to bring into the rotation. And it's all so dependent on the type of defense that you will be running, whether you're going to be a 4-down front, whether you're going to be odd tight. So it just depends on your personnel. The other things you got to factor in, the players that you have here at Washington State or wherever the schools I've coached at in the past. It's just dependent on our needs right now. So you would like to have a number between 12 and 14. It's, what I try to tell people when you play those interior tackle position, it's really the only position that you get hit every single play. And, these guys are getting bigger. They're more athletic. They're getting pounded on, interior linemen. And so you got to do a really good job from a coaching standpoint to make sure you keep your guys healthy, but also build some toughness in there.
Do you have a sense of what Coach Dickert wants to run? Do you know what the scheme will be?
He wants right now, scheme-wise, more philosophy, and I think Coach is really trying to build a culture defensively. The mentality of being tough, playing fast, and playing together is the model that he wants to, present to these kids. That it's really about a unit than an individual. And as we continue to keep selling our philosophy to them, they have to buy into that, it's not about one individual person, it's about the team. And as we start building from the ground up right now, our philosophy right now is it's not about the individual, it's really dying to self and buy into a defensive unit and a team unit.
Let's rewind the clock. Let's go way back. Give me a good playing days, glory days story from when Coach Longo was in the trenches. What's one of your fond memories of when you were a player?
Well, I think, we talk about the Apple Cup. We talk about rivalries between schools. That's something that I can really buy into. I went to NC State, and I'm very proud of my institution. But the thing that I can say to the day I die, I ain't never lost to North Carolina at Chapel Hill. I lived that dream. I want that to be possible for our program and our kids. It's something that I can carry to the grave, and that's something that I'm proud of. to say that I've never lost to our rivalry school. And that's something that I'm going to be definitely implementing to our young guys. We respect the school in the West. And our biggest thing is we got to step up to the challenge and the importance of that game to our program and to our fans and to our coaching staff.
You just got a lot of Cougs fired up, Coach. They're all chomping at the bit to get to that spot there where that picture is right behind you.
Oh yes, I can feel the excitement when we even have gone to certain functions of what it means, and we've had some great interactions with some former players of what that game really means, and so we know it's not just a game to us. You know, this is something that's special that we got to bring back to our program, and that's something that Coach Rolovich and Pat Chun has done a great job of educating us that are not from here the importance of that game.
That's why our boy Alex Brink is the Husky killer. He beat the Huskies 3 times, and the nickname has stuck. And now he's the broadcast analyst, and he's the best. You know, he's the guy.
Well, there's a lot of tradition that has been built here from the past, so you got to make sure. You know, one of the biggest things as a coach when you come into this is making sure you understand the traditions that have been built here, and to make sure that we uphold those standards as coaches and as players.
Well, I can't wait to do it in person, and I don't know if we're shaking hands or what we're doing now, but whatever it is, I really look forward to it. I'm excited to see you getting to work with the pads on, and they're in Martin Stadium right behind you, or Rogers Field behind the building there, and stay safe and be well, and thank you for this time.
Matt, I appreciate you. To all the Cougar fans out there, I'm going to give you the people's elbow when this is all over with.
I love it. Thank you, Coach.